Thank you, Mr. Chairman, ranking member. I really appreciate this. I mean, we've had a great dialogue today, and I think that, as my colleague from Georgia said, I don't know how many more classes of people we can reference that we're going to prevent from having fraud, but you're doing a great job. You've been creative. But, you know, the reality is we made the bill pretty simple. It just says states cannot get 25% of money from anybody that committed fraud. Anybody. What you all are referencing is accidental overpayments. You're not saying that they did it fraudulently. It's accidental overpayments. And nowhere in here does it say that the states can get 25% of accidental overpayments. It says at the bottom of page 3, they were determined to be made due to fraud. That's what it says. It's very simple words. None of us, as we've all said collectively, none of us have said ever that we condone fraud. Yet, we're not speaking, my colleagues' amendments are not speaking to the actual bill. And furthermore, to prevent us from having a 6 or 7 hour meeting or 8 hour, we don't know how long this is going to go on. I guess it's determined how many classes we've got left. But on page 7 at the top of the page, what it says to prevent us from having these types of hearings going forward and protecting all taxpayers' money, that you can use, the states can use, who administer the UI, can use up to 5%, not to exceed 5%, to put preventive measures into place to ensure that we don't have fraud in the future. I don't see that to be unreasonable. We're asking right now, we all know that we had a difficult time over the last 36 months, 30 months, and we know that there were a lot of stressful situations. I think my colleague from Wisconsin has laid out several of those. Many of you all have. I think we all agree there are difficult situations, but I think also we all should recognize that the fraudulent cases that have been out there, and I demonstrated that in the hearing we had a couple of weeks ago, personally as a person trying to provide jobs and dealing with the fraudulent claims. These were not claims of an individual under foster care or a contractor or somebody on Social Security or somebody that was a senior. These were people trying to do bad things in the system. And that's what we want the states to go after. And we're willing to incentivize the states, the administrators of UI across America, by statute, to go out and collect this money back from these bad actors and then put in place a preventative system from this happening in the future. That's all we're doing. We know during the pandemic, because of the massive amount of taxpayer dollars that went into the system, that bad actors committed fraudulent claims and fraudulent computer access to make this happen. That's all this bill says. It says it plainly on the bottom of page 3, when it talks about only 25% can be collected of something that's known to be fraudulent, not of a particular class, no matter how many more classes you come up with. We could be here all night with classes. It's not going to matter. The bill says, because you're not saying they committed fraud, you're saying accidental. This bill only allows the states to collect 25% of a claim that was due to fraud. Now, I don't think anybody, based on what you all have said in the hearing, what you said here, that you think those people who committed fraud should get to keep that money. I can't imagine you would say that to the American people. I haven't heard that today, but by not reading the bill and seeing what it says on the bottom of page 3, you may be implying that. Again, on page 7, it sets aside an amount of money so we don't have to have these kind of hearings in the future. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I'll yield back.